good time, and I'll be dancing the rest of the night. It is the eve of the NBA Finals, and the Suns are favored at Caesars William Hill to get their very first NBA title. Game 1 Tuesday has the Suns given 5.5 points to the Bucks, and of course, those odds factor in the questions currently surrounding Giannis's health. So let's get to it. The Bucks are getting ready for the finals. And there is a look right there at Phoenix as SC hits the road. So the Bucks practiced today in Phoenix, and they did so without their star. Giannis Antetokounmpo worked out on his own. His status right now is listed as doubtful for Game 1. That's terrible news for the Bucks. Giannis missed the final 2 games of the Eastern Conference Finals after suffering a hyperextended left knee in Game 4. Malika Andrews with an update on the Milwaukee team.
Mike Budenholzer said that Giannis Antetokounmpo was able to get on the court for another basketball workout on Monday, but he declined to say exactly what Giannis was able to do, leaving it at just he is making progress. But he's officially listed as doubtful for Game 1 of the NBA Finals, and so without him, the Bucks are going to need to continue to try to win by committee, as Chris Middleton detailed.
When Giannis is out there, a lot of times we could just give him the ball and let him go to work and, let him orchestrate a lot of things out there. Without him, we have to do it by committee. But, I think guys have done a great job of adjusting with him not out there in, 2 of the most important games of our season.
You can't replace a player of the caliber of Giannis. It's even more impressive what he does and what he's done since he's been injured, continuing to be vocal, if not even more vocal, pulling players aside individually, addressing the team collectively, making sure he's still present and more than a big part of what we're doing, has instilled confidence in both individual players as well as the team in general.
Now, ultimately, the decision of whether or not Giannis Antetokounmpo plays is going to be a collective one. It comes down to what Mike Budenholzer said, General Manager John Horst says, Giannis himself, as well as the medical staff. But if he is unable to go, the Bucks are going to continue to rely on Chris Middleton. As Drew Holiday said, we rode his shoulders all the way to these finals, and they may need to, if Giannis is unable to play, continue to ride those a little bit longer.
Chris Paul's a featured part of what the Suns want to do. He did practice today during the Suns open session. After Phoenix reached its first final since 1993, CP3 revealed he played with partially torn ligaments in his right hand during that Clippers series. That has not stopped confidence in Paul out of Vegas heading into Game 1. Paul, age 36, currently has the shortest odds to win MVP in his first finals. That according to our friends at Caesars William Hill. Teammate Devin Booker isn't far behind, followed by still recovering Giannis and Chris Middleton, who's at a tempting number himself, plus 650. Those are the only 4 currently with odds shorter than 10 to 1.
Record, BPI also favors the Suns in Game 1, whether Giannis is on the court or not. NBA analyst Tim Legler joining us now. Legs, we still don't really know if Giannis will be on the court or not, but if the Bucks do have to go on without him, what's their potential path to victory in this series?
Wow, that's a big one because you're talking about a guy that impacts the game in so many ways. I'm not sure that even with Giannis, they're going to be able to win this series. But if he's out, what it's going to take? It's going to take, Chris Middleton basically being the best player on the floor. I don't think they can win it if he's not. He would have to up his game even more than he already has. And he's shown that he's capable of doing that in big spots. But to carry them potentially for a whole series if Giannis doesn't play, that might be too tall of an order. They would also need Brook Lopez to continue to be roll back the clock, Brook Lopez, the Brooklyn days when he could go down to the low post and get you 15 or 20 points. They would need big-time defense also out of Drew Holiday and Pat Connaughton on Phoenix's guards. And so any way you slice it, that's a very difficult task for the Milwaukee Bucks because Giannis Antetokounmpo, even if he's not the game decider late, he puts you in position with all of the ways that he can dominate a game for the first 45 minutes. So I know Mike Budenholzer would not want to hear the news that Giannis isn't out there.
Well, the Suns have had an interesting path, Tim. They beat some depleted teams on their way here. So I want to ask, what is the bigger break? Facing the Clippers without Kawhi or now the Bucks without Giannis?
Well, that's a tough one, but I'd probably say it's a bigger break for Phoenix to get the Clippers without Kawhi Leonard because, one, Kawhi was playing the best basketball of the season coming into that point when he had his injury. And secondly, he's the guy that's going to have the ball at the end of late game situations. So you've really got to deal with him as the game decider. For the Bucks, obviously, Giannis Antetokounmpo affects the game in a ton of ways, but he might not be the guy that's going to settle matters late. They still have Chris Middleton. They still have Jrue Holiday out there to do that. So even if you get Giannis and the Bucks, with one game down a star player like that, it's going to certainly benefit the Phoenix Suns to maybe give them a leg up at the start of this series. But ultimately, I just think getting that break of Kawhi Leonard not being out there, you never know. Maybe it's the Clippers we're talking about in the finals instead of the Phoenix Suns. But I know they don't care about that. They're here. It's their stage. And they're going to play who's out there. They'll take a break if Giannis isn't out there for at least a game.
All right, that's what the playoffs are all about. Survival of the fittest and the healthiest. And hey, Phoenix made it this far. Thanks, Tim. You will be with us on SportsCenter tomorrow night and Thursday, leading into Game 1 and 2 of the finals. So we will see you then.
Playoffs. Bucks seeking their second championship, first since 1971. They lost Giannis in Game 4 of the Hawks series and then rattled off consecutive wins and never trailed to become the first team since the 2001 Lakers to clinch a spot in the finals with a wire-to-wire win. Let's talk about their lack of experience, though. The Bucks are here despite no one on their roster having NBA Finals experience. That's right, first team to reach this point despite no one having been here before since the 2015 Warriors with Steph and Clay. And now the Suns are on the horizon. The Bucks, if you're keeping count, lost both games against Phoenix this year, both by a single point. It's the first NBA Finals matchup where every regular season meeting was decided by a point since 2010. As we say hello to a familiar face, NBA reporter Malika Andrews, who's joining us now live from Phoenix. And Malika, I know that you were just at the Bucks media availability, which happened within the last hour. What'd you learn about Giannis' status for tomorrow night?
Well, I saw Giannis Antetokounmpo briefly, He was sitting on the sidelines while his teammates were starting to get ready for practice. And remember, all of last week, during the weekdays, Giannis Antetokounmpo was only able to do work in the weight room, not on the court. But here's what Mike Budenholzer had to say about what he's been able to do since.
No, we'll continue to update it. He's had a good day. He's making progress. But I don't have expectations either way.
What does a good day entail? What has he done? Like, where is he at physically? Just what has he done today?
Yeah, he's done court work again today. And so he's making progress, and, we'll continue to update.
I was just wondering if you could expand on with Giannis. Is it shooting? Is it cutting? Is he getting that explosiveness back? What is he actually doing? And is it more than what he was doing the last time he was on the court?
Yeah, no, I'm just going to leave it. He did court work, so he's making progress, and, we're pleased that he's making progress.
Well, as you can see, Mike Budenholzer wasn't exactly forthcoming about what exactly progress meant, but what he said after they won the Eastern Conference Finals was that ultimately this is going to be a decision that Giannis Antetokounmpo is going to need to weigh in on. You know how much he wants to be out on the court. And then it's also going to be a decision that the training staff is going to need to discuss with General Manager John Horst, with Mike Budenholzer, and with Giannis himself. So all of those factors are going to be discussed, and then ultimately his status will be updated for that Game 1, but that has not happened yet.
It's so ironic his team stepped up, right, and took care of the Hawks maybe a little bit quicker than people anticipated, forcing this timeline to be a little bit more interesting. Malika Andrews joining us here. We will get the Suns' perspective from Dave McMenamin on the other side. But Malika, as you know, if Giannis